Today I stand in strong support of SB X13. But before I move forward, I want to just take a moment to acknowledge all those that lost their lives, all the families that are still devastated by that loss of the loved one, and to those that lost their home. I want to take a moment specifically right now to acknowledge my colleague from Santa Monica, whose mother I know personally, and whose mother was devastated by the loss as well of her structure. And, you know, to both of my colleagues from Altadena and Palisades, I know the work that they've been putting. We all have seen the work that they've been putting. And, you know, as the chair of the Sangre Valley Caucus, I've also toured some of the devastated areas, and it's just beyond comprehension. Unless you're standing in front of the structures that are gone, you still feel the ashes in the air. And there's so much to be done. And so at this moment, I'm so proud of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, because we're united in this effort of putting politics aside to ensure that we take care of Californians. I think that sends a really strong message that we put people first. And so I think that's important. It's important for the victims and those that are trying to recover to know that we stand united in these efforts. And I just want to share that, you know, as I went to visit some of the shelters and spoke to some of the children, it really did break my heart. You see a sense of confusion. They're unsure of what their future will mean. They're unsure if they're going to go back to school. And as a teacher, I can share with you that sometimes for some of our children, school community is the only place where they find safety, comfort, a sense of belonging. And right now that has been taken away from them. And so rebuilding the schools, you know, with urgency is what some of our children are going to need. And, you know, when I went to one of the shelters, I remember a little girl just saying, you know, and this is my graduation year. It's just kind of reminiscent of the pandemic, where so many of our children didn't get to experience a graduation or walking down with their cap and gown. But anyhow, I really just want to say that this is not just about rebuilding and making sure that we do what's right for families and making them whole, but as already been mentioned by our good colleagues of Santa Monica and Altadena, it's about making sure that we also restore the air quality, the water, the environmental standards that these families are going to need and deserve. And that's important. And so I urge all of us to continue to support these efforts. The recovery is going to be long, it's going to be painful, but to these families, they look to us for leadership and to make sure that we are doing what's right by them. And I just want to say to all the families, you know, as we all have shared really, in my opinion, wonderful words up here, is that we stand behind you. We're going to take care of you, and we're going to put whatever resources are necessary to make you whole and ensure that some of these bad actors, as we already have seen, they're taking advantage of families. They're already price gouging. And so that's another aspect of what we as legislators have to make sure we do, is to protect victims that can't protect themselves. I already heard from a family who went to get help, and someone had used their name in order to get resources. And so that only delays their efforts to recovery. And so again, I just want to make sure that we stand together, that this is that we become one people, one person here in this floor, and that it doesn't matter what side of the aisle that you're from. We all support the efforts. We support our firefighters. We support our public safety officers and everyone that was out there, because when it happened and I was on the ground floor and touring and talking to people, it was all hands on deck. Everyone was concerned, and I think that we have to commend those that were out there, including those that are incarcerated. There were hundreds just walking in an aisle, fighting alongside with the firefighters, and that deserves also attention and praise. So with that, I also urge and I vote thank you.